A lot of folks are wondering how the coronavirus is affecting values in the automotive market. And as somebody who typically buys about 50 to 60 vehicles a month, I figured it'd be worthwhile to at least show a few samples of what has happened to the market and also what we can expect in the near-term future. Now this vehicle over here is a, hey stranger, this vehicle over here is a 1997 Ford Mustang with a V6. It has only 86,000 miles on it. And I had bought this vehicle from an auction that specializes in Tesla and also the AutoNation network. And that group has approximately, they do about 500,000 vehicles retail over the course of a given year. And normally this type of vehicle would go for around $2,500 or so at the auction on average. It has 86,000 miles on it, has a clean history on it, same owner since new. And so since a lot of people like to see a vehicle start up, I'm going to do the same thing here. It's got about 200 horsepower. It's actually a very nice vehicle overall. Of course, has some customizations that can thankfully easily be removed. But normally when you would look at a vehicle like this at the auction, you would have the opportunity to eliminate a lot of uncertainty as to the engine, the transmission, the interior, the exterior. And the auctions do a decent job for those who want to bid online to figure some of this information out, but not everything. For example, on this particular vehicle, if you look real close over here, you're going to see some clear coat wear. And also, if you dip down over here, you'll also see some substandard paint. None of this was actually evident when you looked at it online and they took pictures. They took pictures of it with about this much distance to it. So, long story short, there wasn't a lot of competition, especially for this older type of vehicle. And what normally would cost right around $2,500, I got for $700 plus the auction fee and transport, which ended up being just under $1,000. And it's not really just older vehicles that are suffering the brunt of this deep decline in values. This is a pretty good example of a vehicle that's been absolutely clobbered. There was a point in time where the Toyota Prius was actually the best-selling vehicle in California. And now, a lot of places are having trouble even giving these vehicles away. This, about 2 months ago, would have been right around $10,900 at an auction. It had right around 120,000 miles on it, but was at one owner. All the service records have been done at the dealership, and it had no accidents. You know, all the little check marks have been checked on this particular model. But this particular one I got for only $8,400. And this isn't because I'm some type of wizard or marvel with vehicles. I do have a lot of unique things that I do with figuring out the quality of cars, and I can definitely show a couple of videos related to that. But if you Google long-term quality index, a study I co-developed, you'll find out that the Toyota Prius actually has an exceptional reliability record. And unfortunately, you're going to get the little glitchy, fuzzy thing. It's actually solid on my side, the screen. But long story short, hybrids and electrics have been absolutely clobbered. And I'll give you a couple of extra examples right now. This Nissan Leaf has a brand new battery in it. And it only has 22,000 miles on it, 2015 model. I ended up buying this vehicle for only $7,300, and that's not even the real shocker of it. The real shocker was that there was only one person who had bid against me the entire period of time. And the same is true for this Buick LaCrosse that only has 52,000 miles in one owner. This one I got for only $5,100 plus the auction fee. Once I add the auction fee and the transport, it's actually closer to $5,500. But still, this is a vehicle that wholesale on average last month was over $7,300, and I got it for only 70% of what wholesale had been just 30 days ago, this being April 15th. We're in a very strange point in the auctions, and when I say the auctions, there are over 10 million vehicles that are inspected and appraised and liquidated every single year. It's more or less any vehicle that's off lease, traded in, repossessed, or any vehicle that may sit on a lot beyond a floor plan's allotted time. A floor plan is what enables all these dealers to actually have vehicles at the dealership. It's not because they're rich, it's because they're using other people's money. And what used to be a 60% sales rate overall for the average auction is now down to around 15 to 20%. And it gets even worse. The hard part right now is that a lot of these operations are starting to lose their floor plans. And when that happens, they can't buy. And so I'll give you a personal example. It used to be every week. This one I just bought for $4,800, and it's got leather, 2013 model. Everything's in perfect working condition on it, and it's about, I would say, 20% less than a month ago, and nearly 35% less than it was 2 months ago. But every week I used to have CarMax, Carvana, Drive Time, all bid against me and another small bunch of armies, and I used to feel like I was Luxembourg. I used to feel like I was a little guy competing against all these heavyweights, competing against NATO, and they would literally be able to use other people's money and bid up to the hinterlands. Well, now CarMax has laid off over 15,000 people. Carvana just recently got access to more capital, but even they are acting a bit trepidatious for the fact that consumer demand has not recovered. And I'm kind of like the fortunate one at this point. I am still buying quite a bit, even though my sales are only about, I would say, half of what they have been in the past. But at the same time, I'm a very lean operator. I just simply have myself. I have a dealership with roughly 40 vehicles, and it seems like I'm almost like Forrest Gump with his little shrimp boat. That everyone had those much larger shrimp boats, and then the hurricane hit, and then he and his partner Bubba were able to get all this money. Well, I'm not rich by any stretch with any of this. I'm actually doing less than I did last month, but I'm still doing about 80% overall. And a big reason for it is because I'm able to buy these vehicles for a much lower price than I could ever have imagined. These prices right now are lower than they would have been a year from now had everything been normal. So I hope this was educational. Please feel free to leave comments. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I hope you have a wonderful day.